a couple of questions I get asked often are indicators that the person that's asking you the question doesn't really understand about various different business models, which is fine, there's no reason why they should, but we need to explain in a kindly way why they perhaps have got a misapprehension. The two questions are, if your products are so good, why aren't they available in shops? And the other is, with all these bonuses and commissions that are paid, surely that makes your products massively expensive. Now, of course, there are reasons why they're not available in shops, which are positive reasons, and the fact is that our products are incredibly good value because of the way that we distribute them. And we need to explain to somebody why that might be. So I want to show you the difference between network distribution and traditional distribution, and why network distribution is so much more efficient and has so many benefits for the consumer, the person that's buying the products in the first place. Let me explain. Every product is manufactured somewhere, so we have a manufacturer. And this manufacturer makes the widget or whatever. Some members of my family have a bakery business, and they bake cakes, and those cakes and biscuits need to be distributed into the marketplace, and they use a traditional distribution chain in order to do that, as do most products through the traditional distribution chain. If they were selling these products to an international market, they would need international agents or importers, and the products move from the manufacturer to the agent, and the agent knows how to get the products onto the docks of different country and has business relationships with wholesalers, because then the products are getting passed to a wholesaler, and the wholesaler has business relationships with retailers. The wholesalers in that trade, the bakery trade, they will have reps who go out and make sure shelves are stacked with the products. They'll be going to various retail outlets of different sizes, making sure orders are taken through shops and things like that. And then these retail outlets have to get customers through the door. And various ways are used of doing this, but often advertising is used to attract customers. And all of these things have costs. The agent's got their officers and staff. The wholesaler's got officers and staff and transport issues. The shop has got the rates to pay, the electricity to pay, they've got staff costs. And all of these costs are all added on to what used to be called the factory gate price of the product, the cost of manufacture. The manufacturer is looking for a profit margin too. And so the price goes up at every step of the way. Then when you add advertising in, now it depends what industry, whether the wholesaler is paying for it, or the manufacturer is paying for it, or the retailer is paying for it, or some combination of all three. But somebody is paying for advertising. Well, increasingly these days, one of the problems with advertising is you're paying more and more for a smaller and smaller return, because fewer and fewer people are actually taking any notice of conventional adverts. So businesses that are committed to this traditional model are finding that these expenses are going up all the time and squeezing their profit margins more and more. In fact, whoever pays for the advertising cost, the agent, the wholesaler, the retailer, it doesn't really matter, because ultimately the person who's going to be paying for it is you and me, the person right at the end of the chain, the consumer. And this idea that we are becoming immune to advertising is a real problem for people with shops. And the news is, well, there's every week there's news about retail chains being closed down, the problems in the high street. Anybody who's involved in this traditional distribution system has got real problems, because fewer and fewer consumers are going into retail outlets because they are not being attracted in by, even though people are spending the money on the advertising, it's just not working anymore. So what we do is something very different. We move products directly from the manufacturer to the consumer via us, the independent distributor. And this has a number of advantages. We work from home, so we've got negligible additional costs. So all the premises costs on here are taken out of the equation. So that reduces the cost of the distribution system in the first place. In addition to that, we don't have staff costs because we are our own staff. And you know, in any system that has staff, some people will be doing the work and some people won't be. But if you're paying wages, you're paying both those lots, so it's an inefficient system. In our method, of course, only the people that are doing the work and actually moving products get paid because we are paid on the results of the products that move to the end consumer. Similarly, all our advertising is done by the power of word of mouth. Word of mouth advertising is known in the marketing industry to be the very best form of promotion of any product, anything, in fact. It's the holy grail of professional marketeers, whereas in our system, we have specialised in making that at the centre of our business system. And the beauty of it is free. So there are no advertising costs added. And that means that the cost of any product coming through this system, the cost to the consumer is massively reduced because of this cost saving. Now, three things happen there. The consumer gets a better price. The manufacturer gets a better profit margin, which is why they choose to do it. They actually also get their message in front of a lot more people because of the word of mouth system than through the advertising system, which is why our products aren't available in shops. Because in our case, the company knew right at the beginning that they would get their word in front of their message, in front of more potential consumers using this method, and it would be better value for the consumers. So consumers were much more likely to keep on repurchasing products, which is exactly our experience, if we went down this route than if we went down the traditional route. So that's why the products aren't available in shops, and that's why the consumer is getting a much better price because we don't have all these on costs. The third advantage, of course, for us is that a substantial part of this cost saving is paid to us in bonuses and commissions. And that's why we can have a very lucrative home-based business while at the same time making sure we provide incredible value for money for a consumer.